About 2 weeks ago, I noticed my oldest daughter, Kelly, teen, acting differently. She was taking lots of food into her room, being secretive, and doing laundry at night. I was concerned, especially when I asked my other daughters about it, a young teen and a tween, and they acted suspiciously. I noticed her going into her room with a packet of ham, and I followed her in. She instantly jumped in front of the closet, screaming at me to leave. Obviously, alarm bells went off, so I told her to move. Well, long story short, there was a stray cat and 2 young kittens. My daughter told me that when she found Cheese, she knew a weak, hungry, pregnant cat didn't have a chance, so she spent all her time and savings to help her as best she could for the past few weeks. Now, obviously, she shouldn't be bringing animals into our home and hiding things from us, but I'm not going to punish my kid for doing a good thing, even though she went the wrong way about it. We had a long conversation about everything and have taken them to the vet to be checked out. We decided to keep the mom, Cheese, and the kittens, Pickle and Ham. My wife always wanted a cat, so everyone was happy. Well, most of my family found it a cute story, but my youngest sister, 32, said, if it was me, I'd ground her for the whole summer without a phone, and I'd make her walk into the animal shelter to drop them off, and then tell her that she can't have a pet until she moves out. I'd cancel her birthday, July, to replace the cost of all the food she gave to that thing. Call me petty, but I'd even show her the missing cat pictures and ask her where she hid them. Now, this isn't the first or 100th time my sister has said, if I had kids, and suggested a punishment that was over the top. I just looked at her and said, maybe it's best you don't have kids. Sister teared up, then excused herself, and my brother-in-law started yelling that I knew how much they've struggled with infertility and how many rounds of IVF they've been through, then called me a cruel idiot to make that comment on a day that I knew they struggled. My siblings are on my side because they're sick of her attitude, but my parents are extremely angry. My mom won't even talk to me till I beg for my sister's forgiveness. Edit. For Easter, my toddler 2-year-old niece ruined her dress with cake. So my sister said, if I had kids and they ruined their clothes I spent good money on with cake, they'd never eat it again, even for their birthdays. That's a tame example compared to other things she said, but obviously that wasn't an issue. My other sister, the niece's mom, didn't even care about it. Boy, I was expecting a homeless teen, so I'm happy it's just kittens. Not the idiot. Has anyone noticed that all the truly perfect parents in the world only have hypothetical children? They always seem to have a solution to any conflict and know what to do in any situation. That being the case, I won't deny you hit below the belt, but it sounds like your sister constantly begs for it with her unsolicited advice and extreme views. She seems excited at the opportunity for cruelty. Infertility doesn't give you an excuse to be abusive. Sometimes it's genuinely a blessing in disguise, and the fact that she came up with this whole scenario off the bat in her head over ways to emotionally cripple someone who did a genuinely nice thing is frightening. Better Cruella have no kids than a kid suffer these kinds of punishments. For real, instead of focusing on what you said to your sister, the focus should be on her diabolical list of things she'd do to break your daughter's spirit. What a kind, loving daughter you have. Your other 2 girls are amazing for protecting her. It was a harmless secret, and it was to save innocent animals. They're good siblings, and a happy story. Your sister would destroy her child's soul with multiple punishments like that for simply a good deed. Not for nothing though, but it is super confusing to have a story featuring actual ham in it and animals named after food, including ham, but you capitalize none of the names. My parents' dog's name is Ham, and whenever they're having ham for dinner, they always say, "We're having ham, not the dog." If they ever miss it, the other will yell, "How could you do that to my boy?" OP, your sister seems cruel. Your parents are enabling it. My wife and I have been together since we were 19, and we're now 32. I met her family after we'd been together for a year. Sister-in-law was actually the first. The first we met, she blurted out that I had a girl's name, Sky, and then laughed about it. My wife told her to shut up and stop laughing. It didn't bother me at all back then. I just laughed and told her there were plenty of male Skys around, even my great-grandfather, who I was partially named after. I was named after my great-grandpa Schuyler, who went by Sky his entire life. and Sky Masterson from Guys and Dolls. So the first time was no big deal. Some people have asked me before if I felt like my name was a girl's name and not a guy's name, and I never minded. My sister-in-law joked a lot about my name and our kids' names when we were expecting our babies. It got a little annoying, but, I was able to brush it off. My wife would cut off her sister and tell her to leave if she went a little too far, which only happened once back then. We didn't see her a lot for a while, but she got engaged last year and was around more and seemed to have calmed down a lot. And now she's having her own baby, a girl. And oh boy, she's really testing my patience. It started with her husband asking what she thought of the name Sky for their daughter. She joked that they couldn't use the name because she didn't want me to feel more like a girl than I already do. My wife told her to grow up, and we left. The next time we saw her, they announced Sky was the name they decided to go with. I said, cool. Sister-in-law said she was surprised I was okay with sharing my name with the girl. I told my sister-in-law her daughter wouldn't be the first, and I wasn't insecure in my masculinity, and I saw no problem with sharing the same name, girls or women. The next time we saw them, it was a joke about putting both Skies in pretty pink dresses when her daughter was born. We stayed out of her way for the rest of that visit. Then she joked that I had finally gotten embarrassed by my name and was using my middle name because one of my uncles, who always called me by my middle name, was visiting, and she heard him call me that. More stuff like that happened, and then Saturday, we were back at my in-law's house for mother-in-law's birthday, and sister-in-law was joking with some of mother-in-law's siblings about my name, and she tried to involve me by calling me over to tell her dumb jokes. It finally got to me, and I asked her if she had to be so annoying. I told her how tiring it always is to hear her dumb jokes, which aren't even really jokes like she claims, but insults directed at me. She called me sensitive, and I told her she's the person who hasn't given up on my name over a decade. I told her everyone gets it. She sees Sky as a girl's name, but she's not funny. Sister-in-law got mad. My wife told her she was about to become a mom and needed to listen to us and grow up. We've told her to stop saying this crap in the past, too. She always says she's just joking. Am I the idiot? You're not the idiot. For over a decade, your sister-in-law's been like an annoying, childish dog with a bone. It was way past time to put her in her place over her rude behavior. I'd also ask her, what's the end goal here? Do you want to see me embarrassed in front of others? Change my name? Admit something? Laugh with you? I don't get it. What's the goal? It just makes me find you annoying and immature. Sister-in-law's obsession with OP isn't normal. That's probably the man she wanted to be with but couldn't. If I were my sister-in-law's husband, there would be alarm bells going off. She wants to name her child after someone she makes fun of? It's just bizarre. That poor child will hate her name and wonder why her mom is making fun of it. I, 26 female, and my boyfriend, Ben, 28, have been dating for about 10 years. We were each other's high school sweethearts. I feel like a bit of background information is needed to fully understand our situation. Ben and I have both gained significant weight since we've been together. We start to diet and exercise, but usually one of us gives up and the other soon follows. It wasn't until about 8 months ago that I decided to take my weight loss seriously. I hated the way I looked, and now I'm in the best shape of my life. Ben did join me at the gym, and to his credit, he lasted longer than he usually does, but he gave up after a few weeks. Since my weight loss, I've noticed Ben has started to get a bit more possessive over me. It's nothing too bad, but he was never really like this. One day I left my phone on the couch to use the restroom, and when I came back, I noticed an unread text from my cousin Danny had been opened. I asked Ben if he had looked through my text, and he denied it. He even tried to make me feel bad for accusing him. I know for a fact I didn't open the text, but Ben didn't let up, so I let it go. In our entire relationship, we've never gone through each other's phones like that. I don't have anything to hide, but it feels like an invasion of my privacy. Yesterday, we were getting ready to watch a movie, and I got a text from my brother asking if I wanted to eat lunch with him tomorrow. I got the idea to mess with Ben, so I switched my brother's name in my contacts to Adam, Tinder. I set my phone down, went to the restroom, and came back, and I could see Ben was very upset. I asked him what was wrong, and he said nothing was. After a few minutes, he finally asked who Adam was. I told him I knew he was going through my phone, and I was just messing with him, I even called the number to prove it was my brother. Ben was extremely upset with me and said I shouldn't have messed with him like that. I told him he shouldn't have lied to me about going through my phone when I knew he did. He's still upset with me, and I did apologize, but it hasn't smoothed over. I meant the phone thing to be a small gotcha moment, and I didn't think it would be this serious. I love Ben, and I've never given him a reason to distrust me. I just don't like that now he's going through my phone and doesn't trust me when I've done nothing wrong. Everyone's the idiot here. Everyone's the idiot here. Trust is the foundation of a strong relationship, and he doesn't trust you, even though you've given him zero reasons to not trust you. That's absolutely wrong on his part. However, knowing he's insecure and messing with his insecurities, you both need to openly talk to each other from here onwards and not snoop around each other's phones or pull immature pranks on each other. You are the idiot. Obviously, grow up. Sure, he shouldn't be going through your phone, but purposefully making him think you're cheating is terrible. You're going through a rough patch, but don't let it ruin your entire relationship. His actions are not okay. They're very much an invasion of privacy. But what you did is just as cruel and downright mean. Grow up and have a serious conversation with him. You're playing dumb games. Honestly, not the idiot. I don't know what the other commenters are on about. OP tried to talk and communicate to him the moment she saw that he went through her phone. He lied and even tried to manipulate OP for not believing his lies. How many times did he go through your chats, read what she wrote, what others wrote her in private? Is the privacy of her friends and family entirely invalid for him? OP tricked him into admitting to his lies. Is it bad? I don't think so. Others say OP broke the trust and foundation of the relationship with that. Like him going through her phone on a daily basis is not breaking their damn trust. Even now he plays the victim for being caught red-handed. He's insecure and lets it all out on his girlfriend. How would OP ever be the idiot in that? Just because she tricked him to admit his own creepy behavior and lies? OP, don't ever be sorry for improving yourself. A real partner will cheer you on and support your goals and dreams. You can try talking some sense into him, but I don't think Ben will change anytime soon. My sister Martina, 34, started dating her husband Kyle, 36, 5 years ago. Kyle lost his first wife a year before they met, and within another year, she had met his 2 kids with his first wife. Her stepson was a pre-tween at the time, and her stepdaughter was a preschooler. They found out they were expecting a baby together 6 months later, and her stepson had a very rough time with the news. However, the stepdaughter also reacted, though she and Kyle believed her stepdaughter copied her brother more than anything. Her stepson said he didn't want them to have a baby. He said some hurtful things to Martina, cried a lot, and didn't want to celebrate with them. The kids were placed in therapy, but it wasn't an overnight fix. When she was pregnant for a second time, her stepson reacted with more sadness, and her stepdaughter reacted with some anger. It wasn't as bad, and the hurtful comments weren't made the second time, but neither kid was happy about it. Martina and Kyle married after the birth of their first child and before she was pregnant with their second. Things are in no way perfect with them all today, and Martina expressed to me recently a lot of bitterness toward the kids for ruining her experience of having kids with their reactions. She said it was so unfair that they never showed excitement or happiness about their 2 younger siblings. She said her stepson acting sad both times made her angry because he got help and he still acted like his mom had just died and like they were doing something wrong by having children and getting married. She said he's never been the big brother to them that he is to his full sister. Where I might be the idiot is that I told her that no matter how she felt, those kids lost their mom, and her stepson especially remembered their mom and had a lot of change in 2 years. I told her she could feel upset, but those kids had no say in this stuff. I told her she was the adult, and she shouldn't have let that resentment build so much. She told me the tough love act was cruel, and that I should be supportive. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. Those poor kids have been through a nightmare, and it seems that Dad was more interested in moving on than investing in his children. While people say kids are resilient, I don't think that's so much the case. Kids internalize what they can't vocalize, and it comes out in many forms. The stepson is both sad and angry and hurt that his father didn't mourn his mom the way he was, and quickly replaced her with another. And then there were babies. To a young mind, that would or could be seen as replacement children. Your sister needs to stop thinking about what she lost or missed out on and start attending to all the children. Those poor children. Their mother was replaced by a wicked, selfish stepmother who resents that Kyle had a life before he met her, and now she wants it to disappear. Your sister needs therapy and to step the F up to parenting those children properly. The teen years are going to be horrific if she doesn't. Meh. They seem like the type of parents to keep shopping and dropping all the therapists who disagree with them, hoping that eventually some therapists will tell them that the kids are wrong and that they, as the adults and parents, are obviously right. If she's so concerned with the fact that her stepkids ruined her experience of parenthood, maybe she should consider that she ruined their experience of childhood, for goodness sake. 2 little kids can't ruin her experience as a mother. Your sister is beyond horrible, and so is her husband for letting someone treat his kids like that. My heart breaks for those kids. I hope they have other family to love them. My late wife passed 3 years ago. Our 2 kids were in their late 20s at the time. It's been a hard few years, and it's even more challenging now that I live alone. She had a lovely dark chocolate cherry cake. It was my favorite thing that she would make, and I would always request it for Father's Day. I'm a crap baker, and I've tried to remake it from her notes. The notes are not very clear, and they never turn out correctly. It's very depressing to spend so much time, and it's wrong. I've asked my 2 kids to try to make it, but they've refused to. I was told that they would not figure out the recipe and to stop asking. I went to a local bakery and asked them to figure it out. They agreed if I gave them permission to sell the cake in the store. It didn't take them long to figure it out, and it's almost the same as my wife's. I bought one for Father's Day, and my kids were happy about the cake until I told them the bakery had made it. They're angry I would sell their mother's recipe to a bakery. This week they've been telling me how I'm a jerk for this, and I wonder if I really am a jerk. I just wanted to eat her cake again. Am I the idiot for selling my late wife's cake recipe to a bakery? Not the idiot. It's funny. My mom died without leaving a complete recipe for one of my favorite dishes. The basic recipe was there, but she must have had a pinch of this, a dash of that in her head, because the recipe never tasted like what my mom made. I totally get wanting to have that taste again. When your kids didn't want to try, you took matters into your own hands. Nothing wrong with that. And frankly, if your kids weren't ever going to make the cake, I'm not sure what their beef is about the bakery making it. I literally hate the idea behind family secret recipes. It seems incredibly egotistical and self-centered. Further, no one else was making it, and at least now her good cake can be shared with other people instead of just being forgotten about. I think of this as a way for your wife to live on in what she created, to bring happiness to others.